Hello and welcome to AZAAZ. That's Ask Zenatta Anything About Zoho. This is Volume 1, Issue 21, and this is where we answer all of your questions about Zoho. You can leave us those questions on our YouTube channel, or you can head over to our online community, clubzenatta.com, and you can leave us our questions there, and we will do our best to answer them on this show. And with me, I have got Greg Belknap, Tyler Colt, and now Landon McCluskey joining us to answer all your questions. Landon is one of our consultants. Tyler is, chief cook and bottle washer around here, does pretty much everything. And then Greg heads up the entire development team. And if they can't answer your questions, no one in the world of Zoho can. I am certainly here to really do nothing but kind of be the ringmaster.
The pretty face.
Really give you as you will see if you watch the show today, I've been given the most difficult of all questions to answer for you. So stay tuned for that because it's a doozy. And with that, let's kick off the show.
All right, first one here, question from Beat Z, asked it on the Q&A for AZAAZ in Club Zenatta. He says, in Zoho Desk, we added a from email address for each agent. Instead of getting a reply from support at, a customer would get a reply from Brett at, or whoever replied to the ticket. I'd like to be more personal, but I could not find a solution to automatically use the personal address of the user by default when answering his ticket. So basically they're having to select the from address every time they go to do a ticket just so it shows up with their name. There is a solution. Basically in setup, channels, email, other configurations. That's where you go. Setup, channels, email, other configuration. The option, it's called show agent name in ticket reply sent to customers. So basically the from address is always going to be the same. It'll be your support email address. You don't have to have a specific from email address, but it will show up with their name in the recipient's email client. It'll show up as coming from, Greg, Tyler, Brett, Jamal, whoever. So again, it keeps it a little bit cleaner too. That way it's always the same from email address. You don't have to worry about where it comes in or whatever. Takes you a little less time to set up from email addresses as well. So
yeah, well, it seems like also if they email support at Zenatta, they get a response from Landon at Zenatta, they reply back to that. Now that email's in your inbox, unless you have forwarding set up from your inbox also in the desk, but you probably don't want everything that comes into the inbox. So it seems like best practice wise, right? Like keeping everything to that support at with like the friendly name is a bit smoother, right? Across the board.
That, and I believe there is a limit to how many from addresses you can have for a particular department, I think it's like for the Zoho 1 version, I think it's like 10. So if you have more than 10 agents, this solution would hit a brick wall. So better off just turning on that name setting and keeping a unified department address.
Did we hire a new employee named Jamal, by the way?
No, just random.
Just Josh.
Okay, you went around the
Tyler,
horn.
Brett,
Tyler,
Jamal,
Greg.
So
You would think the
Josh,
first one would be
Tyler,
Landon.
Brett, Jamal. I just someone new has joined our company. I don't know. Just
Also,
random name you pluck from the sky, Landon.
I just assumed that was Landon's middle name.
No, you don't want to know my middle
Landon
name.
Jamal McCluskey.
No, my middle name's Trouble, according to my mom. So also, just separate from that question, Brett, I got to keep you missed one in the options to get questions to us. You forgot Messenger Pigeon. So I throw that out there in case anybody is really into that.
So BE actually has a two-parter here. Their other question from Club Z is, if a user shares a ticket with another department, those tickets are not visible in the all tickets view. The ticket only shows up when somebody regularly checks a specific shared ticket view. Is there a solution for making sure that shared tickets are taken care of? So if you've never used the ticket sharing option in Zoho Desk, there is a way for you to share across departments, right? And you can set the permission access, whether or not the other departments are going to be able to also, subsequently share this ticket, or if they should only just be able to read it, or if they should be able to reply to it or only leave comments, all sorts of things. But there are a few restrictions in the ticket sharing. One of the big things is, like BZ notes here, is that the only way that someone in the other department that you share it to will see the ticket is only under the shared tickets view, which is like a baked-in view inside of Zoho Desk. As of right now, that's the only spot that somebody from a different department can look at a ticket that has been shared to their department. However, something that you could do is write a custom deluge schedule that could look at any tickets that have been shared with a particular department and then create some kind of notification for either everyone in that department or maybe only specific people in that department, where you could set up a click channel that would get those kinds of notifications. So yeah, you would have to do some custom coding to get something, but it is possible in that respect. And then Beatsy's post also had one more question in this same vein of, even if you share a ticket to a different department, you cannot then assign that ticket to someone in that department. You can only assign tickets within the agents in the department. So that's just a hard and fast rule with that one.
Prepare yourselves.
Alrighty. So Andrea Fernandez asked, if I set up a CRM email settings for another member of our organization, will it affect the CRM if I log out of that account? Andrea, the way it actually works is it does not. You can log into anybody's account and set up their email for them. We have administrators do this all the time. Especially maybe when setting things up, you can do that. And really those settings are saved in the user account. So when you log out, log into someone else's account, they're still saved in that user's account. It really doesn't affect anything at all. So have fun.
All right, next one here. Question: after watching Zoho Sales IQ Zobot tutorial 2021, Stalin Angamarka asked, I have knowledge base articles in English and Spanish, but the Sales IQ Zobot only replies with the English articles. If a user types question in Spanish, can the bot find articles in Spanish? So in Sales IQ, your live chat, right, with actual people behind it, there is an option for translation, right? So questions are asked in certain languages, they can translate and you can go back and forth. What he's asking about here is the answer bot. You can have resources set up to it so that it'll search articles in your knowledge base and get answers from that. But he's having trouble where if somebody asks a question in Spanish, even it's not going to search those articles in a different language. And as of today, no, it's not possible. However, in searching for this, when I couldn't find it, I just emailed Sales IQ support and was like, hey, is this a thing? Like, is there any way around it? And they said, we have this in beta. Confirm if you'd like this set up. So if you want to, go ahead and email the Sales IQ support team and they can put this in beta. They can put this feature in for you so that questions asked in another language will search articles in that language. So there you go.
Nice.
Much needed update there, yeah.
The way you do it now is, do you have to check a box first, guys? Like what language? Can you select that up front, give them that choice and force it that way? Tyler, I know you build a lot of bots like this.
Yeah, with a Zobot, that would kind of be your only option because then you could save. It's a lot of hard coding is what that does.
You could save the
like,
path, right?
Yeah, like first question is what's your preferred language? Then in Zobot, there are like context variables. So you can like park a response and use it later within that same like chat flow. But yeah, like the problem there, right, is then any possible eventuality that would provide them with articles has to be like split, right? And I think within the Zobot, I haven't set it up in a while, but I think some of those like knowledge-based responses are pretty dynamic. Like you're not hard coding it. You're like prompting them to ask a question and then it is determining what's going to show up. So it's not even like we're kind of funneling them and if then statementing to read their question. It's like you're kind of using the answer bot functionality with like the, language processing. So you kind of have to have Zoho do it to do it right. So good timing, Stalin. Sounds like that is on its way.
And I'm sure with AI rating, it's going to be a lot more functionality soon.
Good thing Zoho isn't stalling the rollout there.
Dang it! I was getting there. I was getting there, and you saw it. You saw it.
I saw it bubbling up, Greg.
That's what you get for stalling so long, Greg.
Wow.
All right. This next question comes from Ray Polanco, who commented on the YouTube video talking about our ChatGPT bot code that we built at Zoho Click. Ray asks, I'm curious to know if it's possible to include articles from either Zoho Learn, Zoho Writer, or Zoho Notebook in a response from ChatGPT. And the short answer is yes, with a heavy asterisk, because it's something that does take a lot of development knowledge. Because what you have to do is OpenAI, the people that make a ChatGPT model, they have articles and APIs to be able to create sort of your own. You can train a specific model for your database, I guess, where essentially you would take whatever the latest version of ChatGPT is and then kind of fork it off of that, and then you can import a bunch of your articles with certain questions and prompts that would prompt that article as a response, and kind of train your own version of ChatGPT to be tailored specifically to your database. We have never done that here at Zenatta. We've just been using the regular ChatGPT. So at least for now, while it is theoretically possible, it's something that's very much on the frontier of those ChatGPT usages. But that is something that I would sure like to be able to do at some point. That'd be really cool, especially because, again, Zoho, if you're listening, Zoho Learn doesn't have any APIs, so you can't talk to it. So I sure would like to. So again, just throwing that out there for any of the Zoho people listening.
All right, next question here comes from Steve. This is over on Club Zenatta in the Q&A. So question is, I've created a list opt-out checkbox in the CRM, as well as checkboxes for the topics in campaigns. Inside the CRM email templates, I have an opt-out form that updates the record. So this is a pretty common implementation. Essentially, you've got a form link in your CRM email that checks a box. So he does not use the unsubscribe function. I've set up a workflow that emails me to say someone has opted out via the default CRM opt-out field. Then I manually update the list opt-out box and uncheck the opt-out box. Thoughts? Okay, so this gets into one of those really important topics, talking about marketing versus transactional emails and how opt-outs really work between the two of those. So anytime that someone is opting out, right, of a marketing email, that does not opt them out of transactional emails, right? Transactional emails are password resets. Hey, you just signed your contract but haven't booked your kickoff call, right? Things that are directly related to an active ongoing engagement with a customer. Marketing emails are the newsletter, the white paper drip, things like that are, traditionally sent via campaigns. My recommendation, do a lot more of that mailing that's marketing driven from campaigns. Use the native unsubscribe on that side of the house, and don't map it to the CRM email opt-out. This is something that with the new campaigns to CRM integration, they kind of fixed. Back in the day, a campaigns opt-out would auto-check the CRM email opt-out, but that prevents all CRM emails, many of which are likely to be transactional, right? Where a marketing opt-out should not prevent you from sending. So I'd say a lot more of those, consider pushing them over through campaigns. You may have a reason that you're doing it via CRM. If you do have to keep it with CRM, I would say if you built out a form that is being used to do the opt-out, you could change it, right? So that it checks that list opt-out rather than the system default opt-out functionality. But yeah, I would say probably push a lot more of this to campaigns. Use that native unsubscribe there. We have a YouTube video, Wayne recorded, it's like a 5-minute video from a little while back on how to change where the campaigns opt-out will land in CRM. Highly recommend watching that, or you're going to have the same problem. But yeah, I would say just do this stuff with campaigns, because that CRM email opt-out it's a full stop, right? It means I'm not going to email them transactional. I'm not going to email them anything. Like they told me go away, right? Which is very different.
Is a real problem.
Marketing.
Yeah. It's a real problem, that legacy, the opt-out on that. Remember, we just had that happen with a client. When you become a client of ours, we immediately send you a getting started email. And we had a client who never got that because a year ago they decided they didn't want one. It turns out they didn't want all of the newsletter. They wanted the newsletter, but they didn't want this from us. They didn't want that, but you couldn't do that. When you unsubscribed, that was it. You're dead.
God.
And so this person actually signed their contract and they thought we ghosted them because all the emails were just not getting sent. So, it can be problematic. It's almost one of those things too. Now that they've fixed it, like you said, Tyler, that video that Wayne put together is it should be mandatory, for anybody.
The tricky thing is, though, the fix doesn't undo the past unsubscribes. So they're still going to be in there. And sometimes it'll let you manually opt them back in, and sometimes it won't. I've had really inconsistent results in our account and in clients' accounts. Like sometimes you can just go in, it'll say, oh, unsubscribed via Zoho Campaigns. You just uncheck it. Other times it'll say unsubscribe via Zoho Campaigns, and you cannot. So it's a little inconsistent in that way. But yeah, the big thing is just don't point any of the marketing opt-outs to that field. That's the big takeaway message. Ideally, it should only be checked in the situation where it's a full stop on all future communication.
All right, next one here. Question from Robert Wolf after watching Zoho Sales IQ Answer Bot tutorial 2021. Says, is it possible to have the answer bot active while not having live chat active on the website? The answer is absolutely. When you create your answer bot in the settings, just go into you go into settings, click the answer bot that you want that to be the case on. And then on the side, there's a tab called behavior in there. It basically allows you to check whether or not you want to have the answer bot attend the chats, have the live chat do it, or have the answer bot attend the chats when there's no, when there's no operators available in the live chat. And then you can choose that for during business hours and outside business hours. So what you would do if you don't want any live chat, just click on the option for to attend all chats in the answer bot inside and outside business hours. And then you don't have to worry about having the live chat in there. Is just always the answer bot. So,
well, Landon, thank you for clarifying, because you said the answer is absolutely. Which, is it absolutely not? Is it absolutely yes? So I was really happy for that clarification, because when you said the answer is absolutely, I was just hanging on every word. But turns out it's absolutely yes. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
The answer is absolute. That's the one thing we know for sure.
Yes.
That's Brett's English degree coming back to haunt us. Next question is for me, comes in from Steve over on Club Zenatta in the Q&A. So I have all of my LinkedIn contacts inside the CRM due to link match. Awesome plugin. Should I use a CRM form and link it to newsletter field in the CRM and then sync that with campaigns, or use the CRM sign up form? So I'm assuming there's a typo in the question, and that second one should be use the campaigns sign up form. To answer, Steve, we pretty much always recommend that you use forms that point to CRM, and then use the CRM data to make decisions inside of campaigns. Reason being is that you want all available data on every lead in contact in CRM. And if you send it straight to campaigns, you won't be able to see that they're opted in. If you're looking at like a particular lead or contact, gets even more important when you get into like topic management, which you had mentioned on a previous question that you do have some various topics. So yeah, we always recommend point everything to CRM, create multi-selects, tags, checkboxes, whatever kind of makes sense for the types of segmentation you need to do. But yeah, we almost never recommend skipping CRM and going straight to campaigns. I'd say the only time that I recommend that is if you got a list from like a Zoom info, right? You've got these like 10,000 leads, but you only have 5 salespeople and you want to pre-qualify them before sending them to the leads module. You could dump them straight to campaigns, run them through a workflow, do some scoring, and if the score is high enough, write them over. That's like the only use case where I would really ever recommend skipping writing the data to CRM. It's just always good to have it there, and then you can use it in campaigns without the issue.
Well, I assume, when they say the CRM sign-up form, are they referring to like the CRM web form?
Possibly. Well, it says they use a CRM form and link it to newsletter, or use the CRM sign-up form. So I'm not sure if there's a differentiator there.
So I think, I was wondering, was he saying using when he said CRM form, did he mean Zoho form? Does he have a
Possibly.
Zoho form? He has a Zoho form pointing to the CRM, or just use a CRM web form to then update?
Yeah, I would use if that's the question, use a Zoho form. Those CRM web forms are much more limited, less logic and decision making. Trying to keep a straight face for audio listeners. Landon has been slow zooming his face here for this ending segment, and there it is. Now he's back to normal. It was getting too close there. I was starting to see the follicles and just too high of definition. You need to downgrade that camera back, Landon.
He's back to Landon's version of normal, whatever that is.
Yeah, which is
That's not a thing.
whole deviations off the mean, but such is life.
All righty. Well, good show, guys. We want to thank everybody who sent in their questions. And as always, if you would like to get in touch with any of us over here at Zenatta, please head over to Zenatta.com.
And he's buddies. And he's of us buddies.
And he's
We
buddies. If you have any buddies, if you got any buddies, you can do that. And if you go to Zenatta.com, you can click on Book a Meeting, and we'll be happy to chat with you.
And on the website is where you'll find complete episodes of our podcast, CRM Zen Show, where we cover all the news in the world of Zoho every single week. If you want that news delivered straight to your inbox every Monday morning, be sure to subscribe to our newsletter.
Yes, and we do share code on club.zenatta.com. Community good, people great, posts much. And sign up now. Questions may be here sometime.
Last but not least, please be sure to like and subscribe here on YouTube. I know we're making a strong pitch for that with this great outro that we're providing. If you do have any questions, feedback, requests, drop those in the comment section. And like Greg tried to mention, you very well might be featured on the next episode of AZAAZ. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next Wednesday.